Lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation is the trap where your income goes up, but your life gets more expensive just as fast. You get a raise, a better job, or your business starts making more money. For a moment, it feels like you're finally getting ahead. Then your brain immediately starts upgrading everything. A better apartment, a nicer car, more restaurants, better clothes, more subscriptions, better vacations, more expensive hobbies. Suddenly, the extra money is gone before it ever becomes wealth. People think the problem is low income. Sometimes it is. But many people do not stay broke because they earn too little. They stay broke because every raise becomes permission to spend more. The mechanism is simple. Your lifestyle expands to fill your income. And the scary part is that it feels normal. You are not doing anything crazy. You are just living a little better. But if every new dollar gets a new job before it reaches your savings, you are not building wealth. You are only building a more expensive version of being stuck. Lifestyle inflation is when your income grows, but your freedom does not. Buy now, pay later. Buy now, pay later is one of the cleanest financial traps because it removes the pain from spending. You see something you want. Shoes, a phone, a laptop, clothes, furniture, a trip. The full price feels uncomfortable. But then the website says, split it into 4 easy payments. Suddenly, the purchase feels smaller. Your brain stops asking, can I afford this? And starts asking, can I afford the first payment? That is the trap. Buy now, pay later does not make things cheaper. It only cuts the price into pieces small enough for your brain to ignore. At first, it feels harmless. One payment here, another payment there. Then 5 different purchases are all pulling money from your future paycheck before it even arrives. The danger is not one payment. The danger is stacking small promises until your future income is already crowded. People think they are buying products, but often, they are selling pieces of their next month. Buy now, pay later gives you the feeling of affordability without the reality of affordability. It does not remove the price. It only hides the moment you feel it. Credit card minimum payments. Credit cards become dangerous when people start treating the minimum payment like the real cost. You spend money today. The bill arrives later. You cannot pay the full amount, so you pay the minimum. It feels like you solved the problem, but you did not solve it. You just kept the debt alive. The mechanism is interest. Interest is money you pay for carrying yesterday's decisions into tomorrow. The balance stays. The interest grows. The next purchase gets added, then another. And slowly, the card stops being a tool and becomes a leak in your financial life. The worst part is that credit card debt can look manageable for a long time. The minimum payment is small enough to survive, but not strong enough to escape. That is why this trap is so powerful. It does not knock you out immediately. It keeps you walking in circles while charging you for every step. People think the danger is the card itself. The real danger is thinking the minimum payment means you are in control. A credit card can give you convenience, but if you carry the balance, convenience starts charging rent. The car payment trap. The car payment trap is when transportation turns into a lifestyle symbol. A person needs a car. That part may be real. They need to get to work, move around, take care of family, or live in a place where public transport is not enough. But then the need becomes an identity, a newer model, a better brand, a bigger payment, a longer loan, a car that looks successful even if the bank owns most of it. The trap is that people do not ask, can I afford the car? They ask, can I afford the monthly payment? That question hides the real cost. Insurance, fuel, repairs, maintenance, registration, depreciation, interest. The car is not one expense. It is a whole financial ecosystem sitting in your driveway. A car can help you earn money, save time, and live your life. But the wrong car can quietly eat the money that could have built your emergency fund, investments, or freedom. People think the car shows progress, but sometimes the car is just a moving billboard for financial pressure. The car payment trap is when your vehicle drives your budget more than you drive the vehicle. Subscription creep. Subscription creep is the trap where your money disappears in tiny monthly cuts. One streaming service, one music app, one cloud storage plan, one gym membership, one editing app, one delivery pass, one newsletter, one premium tool, one game subscription. Each one looks small. That is why the trap works. Your brain does not panic over $5. It does not panic over 10. But 10 small payments can quietly become a second phone bill, then a second utility bill, then a number big enough to matter. The mechanism is invisibility. Subscriptions do not ask you to make a buying decision every month. They just keep charging unless you stop them. And most people do not stop them because cancellation takes effort, memory, and attention. This trap does not feel like spending. It feels like background noise. But money loves background noise because that is where nobody is watching. The problem is not subscriptions themselves. Some are useful. The problem is forgotten subscriptions that keep getting paid for a version of you that no longer exists. Subscription creep is death by 1,000 tiny charges. Convenience spending. Convenience spending is when you pay extra because your life is too tired to say no. Food delivery instead of cooking. Rides instead of walking. Coffee because you were in a rush. Fees because you forgot. Premium shipping because you waited too long. Takeout because planning felt impossible. At first, convenience feels like self-care. And sometimes it is. Time matters. Energy matters. Not every shortcut is bad. But the trap begins when convenience becomes the default. The mechanism is friction removal. Companies know that tired people spend faster. The easier it is to buy, order, tap, swipe, or subscribe, the less time your brain has to defend your money. Convenience does not feel expensive in the moment because it solves a small problem immediately. Hunger, stress, boredom, fatigue, discomfort. But if your life is constantly so chaotic that you must buy convenience every day, the real problem may not be the coffee or the delivery. It may be the system your life is running on. Convenience spending is not always laziness. Sometimes it is exhaustion with a checkout button. The sale trap. The sale trap makes people feel like they saved money while they were actually spending it. A jacket is 40% off. A gadget is on flash sale. A website says the deal ends tonight. Suddenly, buying feels responsible. You were not going to buy it yesterday. You may not need it tomorrow. But today, the discount makes it feel like an opportunity. The mechanism is false savings. Saving $50 on something you did not need is not saving $50. It is spending the rest. Stores understand this perfectly. They use countdowns, limited stock warnings, crossed-out prices, seasonal deals, and only today messages to create urgency. The sale trap works because it changes the question. Instead of asking, "Do I need this?" you ask, "Am I missing a deal?" That is how a discount becomes pressure. A sale can be useful if you were already planning to buy the item. But if the discount created the desire, the sale did not save you money. It sold you permission. The sale trap is when the price goes down, but your spending goes up. Status spending. Status spending is when people buy things to control how other people see them. The watch, the shoes, the phone, the car, the apartment, the restaurant, the vacation photos, the designer logo. Sometimes people buy the object, but often they are buying a reaction. Respect, envy, approval, proof. A feeling that they are not behind. The mechanism is identity spending. The purchase is not just about usefulness. It becomes a message. I am successful. I belong here. I am doing well. This trap is painful because it is emotional. People do not always spend to enjoy life. Sometimes they spend to heal insecurity. And social media makes it worse. You are not comparing your real budget to someone else's real budget. You are comparing your normal life to someone else's highlight reel, often funded by debt, sponsorships, renting, or pretending. Status spending can make you look rich while quietly making you less free. The danger is not wanting nice things. The danger is needing strangers to believe you are doing better than you actually are. Status spending is buying applause with money you needed for peace. Get-rich-quick schemes. Get-rich-quick schemes are dangerous because they sell hope to people who are tired of waiting. They promise fast money, secret systems, hidden loopholes, guaranteed returns, easy passive income, or a lifestyle that looks too good to be normal, and that is the hook. The person is not only buying information, they are buying the feeling that maybe their life can change quickly. The mechanism is desperation. When someone is frustrated, underpaid, in debt, or tired of slow progress, shortcuts become emotionally powerful. A scam does not need to sound logical. It only needs to sound possible. This is why fake gurus show cars, watches, screenshots, luxury hotels, and dramatic claims. They are not selling a skill. They are selling escape. Real wealth usually has boring ingredients: skill, time, risk, patience, ownership, systems, and discipline. Fake wealth sells the ending without the work in the middle. If someone says money is easy, ask why they are selling the secret instead of quietly using it. A get-rich-quick scheme is not a shortcut to wealth. It is often a shortcut to becoming someone else's income source. High-risk speculation. Speculation becomes a trap when people confuse gambling with investing. Crypto pumps, meme stocks, day trading, options, hype markets, coins with animal names, assets going up because everyone is yelling that they will keep going up. The mechanism is price movement. You are not always buying something because it produces value. You are often buying because you believe someone else will pay more later. That can work. Sometimes people make money fast, but speed is exactly what makes it dangerous. When prices rise quickly, people start feeling smart. They think they understand the market, they increase the risk, they tell friends. They stop thinking about losing because winning feels like proof. Then the market turns, and suddenly the same strategy that made them feel like a genius makes them feel trapped, angry, and confused. Speculation is not always evil, but it becomes dangerous when you use rent money, borrowed money, emergency money, or emotional money. High-risk markets can make you rich quickly, but they can also teach you that luck was never a strategy. The No Emergency Fund Trap. The No Emergency Fund Trap is boring until it destroys your month. A car breaks, a medical bill appears, a phone dies, you lose hours at work, rent increases, a family emergency happens. Something always happens. Without an emergency fund, every surprise becomes debt. That is the mechanism. The problem is not just the emergency. The problem is that the emergency forces you to borrow from the future because the present has no cushion. People think emergency savings are boring. They are. That is the point. An emergency fund is not there to make you rich. It is there to stop one bad week from becoming 6 bad months. Without a cushion, life becomes more expensive. You pay late fees. You use credit cards. You take bad loans. You sell things at the wrong time. You make decisions from panic instead of control. An emergency fund does not feel powerful when everything is fine. It feels powerful the moment life stops asking nicely. The no emergency fund trap is when a small problem becomes a financial disaster because there was nothing between you and the fall. The more income will fix everything trap. The final trap is believing that more income will automatically fix your money problems. More income helps. It matters. Nobody should pretend income is not important. But more income does not fix a broken money system. If you spend everything at $3,000 a month, you may spend everything at $5,000, then everything at $10,000, then everything at $20,000. The numbers change, but the pattern stays alive. The mechanism is unmanaged money. If there is no plan, no savings, no investing, no awareness, no limits, and no understanding of where the money goes, more income simply gives the bad system more fuel. This is why some people earn more than everyone around them and still feel broke. Their life looks upgraded, but their financial pressure upgraded too. More income is powerful when it becomes savings, assets, investments, debt reduction, freedom, or options. But if it only becomes a bigger lifestyle, it does not make you rich. It only makes the trap more comfortable. More money can solve money problems, but only if you stop giving every dollar away to escape.